Okay, alright, so let's try this again. Alright, so today we're working on, this was the problem for shed part 3 that you could work. So what we're doing is we're solving for this rafter, is what we're looking for. So I've given you the layout of the building. The width of the building is 13 foot 6 inches. Okay. So I'm going to convert that to inches by multiplying 13 times 12 and adding 6 to it. I'm going to come up with 162 and 162 inches. I'm only concerned about half of this building because I'm dealing with a rafter and I'm only dealing with this left side of it. Divide 162 by 2, come up with 81 inches. Okay. Now I've given you the pitch of the roof, and you will always get that on the house. That'll be given to you by the architect. So now I've got 7 over 12 right here. So I'm going to check that pitch. I'm going to set up a relationship equation. 7 over 12 is equal to x, which is, I'm looking for this height right here, over 81, right? And that's the side. So I set that up, I work it through. 7 times 81 is 567. 12 times x, 12x. I take 567 divided by 12. X is equal to 47.25 inches. That makes sense because I can look at that and know that if I'm at 81 inches and it's a 712, it's not going to be the same length. If that was a 1212, this would be the same length, right? Because it'd be a 45-degree angle. So we're not going to worry about that. But so now I'm going to set this up, and I like to just draw because it gets it right in my head. So always, just draw some diagrams. It'll make things more simple for you. So I'm going to set up this 90-degree triangle. Got 47.25 there. Got 81 there. I'm solving for the rafter, or the C, the hypotenuse. I put this number a squared, b squared. Set this little formula up here, right? A squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. I run this all the way through. I come up with C is equal to 93.77 inches. I drew this on the little rafter right here, is what that's looking for. But that's not the complete answer, because the thing I have not taken into account yet is that this is showing me to the very center of the house. I'm not going to the center of the house, I'm going to this side of this of the ridge board, this 2x6 that's running down the middle of the house. So what I do is I'm going to take 3/4 inch off of this here, 93.77 minus 0.75, come up with 93.02, 93 inches, and that is your answer. So 93 inches. Show your math. Okay, hope everybody's doing well. I want to take a couple of minutes and go over the cutting a rafter in SketchUp. So I just did the math for you on the 7 by 12 pitch rafter. And so let's see what we can do to cut this thing. Alright, so typically on a job site what we would have is this framing square. And so what the pitch means is that for every 12 inches we go horizontal, then vertically we're going up 7 on this one. So I can take my framing squares, makes it real easy. You don't even have to really figure any angles. But the way this thing's set up, you got, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 going up. And then if I take it back across here, this is 12 going this way. Okay, so I could lay that out on as far as using a framing square, which is what I would do on the job site. In SketchUp, it's going to be a little bit different. You could do this. I've been trying to use that, but it is possible. I can draw my line across here. I can hit the move command. I can slide this all the way down, keep it on that axis, and slide it all the way over here and make an angle. The problem is, because the way I'm having to do it in SketchUp, it's not quite as accurate. So SketchUp's going to let me do something else. So the angle on that for a 712 is 30.3, and so that's this angle from right up here at the top. So what I can do is, let me just get rid of this. I'll I'll show you from the scratch here. So I get rid of that. I'm just gonna hit delete, get rid of that. Okay. So I'm gonna go grab this protractor over here. Put the protractor in the corner right here. I'm gonna click down. Now this is gonna start drawing me. You see how those angles are changing down at the bottom? So I want to go 30.3, enter. I just made me a little guideline right there, right? So it's 30.3. So this is the top of the rafter. And now in the real world, when we are cutting, I like to go ahead and get rid of this part of the rafter. I cut that before I even start measuring. A couple of advantages: when I hook my tape measure here, I'm actually hooking on the end of the rafter. I'm not I don't have to compensate for if the kerf of the blade, like whatever the blade turns into sawdust, I don't have to compensate for that. So let's hit L. I'm going to draw me a line here. 1, 2. Now I've drawn a line there. I'm going to have to break this group up because right now I've got it in a group. 1, 2. Okay. Hang on. I just want to do that. I want to break it up, explode it, right? I'm going to grab that right there. I'm just going to get rid of this part. Easiest way to do it is hit the push-pull. And I just removed that part of the rafter. Okay? So now, our rafter was, let's see, we did all the math. It was 93 inches. Okay? So now I'm going to hit the tape measure. Or T. Use the hotkey. I'm going to hook right up here at the top of that. I'm going to go this way. And I want that to be at 93 inches. 93. Shift inch. Enter. So I just made me a little mark over here. Where's that thing at? This is actually a lot bigger rafter than what I was going to do. But we can fix it, right? So let me get rid of this thing here. Hit move. I'll just pull that over here, throw it down on the ground. Well, that was not what I would typically do. So the problem is this right here is, so obviously if I'm using that 8-foot board is what I pulled off of that pile over there, it's not going to be long enough. But because we're working in SketchUp, which is amazing, I can actually take this. I'm just going to add, let me see what I want to add let me add 6 feet. 6 feet, enter. No big deal. I just made my 2x6 longer. I mean, the real world, if that could happen, man, we could make some money. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this board here because I have measured from here to my rafter, and I'm going to grab this here. I'm going to hit move. I'm going to start sliding that, and just because I kind of want to keep I definitely want to keep it on the right plane, I'm going to hit control just to keep one up there in the front. So now it should grab on up here. Let's see, make sure I'm grabbing it right. So I want it to move right there and lock in on that piece right there. There you go. So now I've grabbed it to that guideline. So I'm about to make the rafter seat is the part I'm about to make. The part that sits on top of the wall. So typically we want the rafter seat to go up 1.5 inches because I want it to sit on top of the wall and where I can actually fasten it, right? If you didn't make a rafter seat, the rafter will want to tip over and stuff on you. So now I can take my tape measure command here, and I'm gonna, so typically we would I would just flip over the framing square because it's got the bottom part of that's 1.5 inches. I'm gonna make this see, 1.5 shift inches. I just made a line there. Now to make sure I'm doing this right, I'm gonna set a protractor. If I'm gonna do it, I might as well do it right. I don't want to have a problem with that. I'm gonna set my protractor right there. I'm gonna grab this line. I'm gonna move this over, and I want that to be at 90 inches. See, it's all going crazy. I mean 90 degrees. It actually found it, but if it doesn't, I can just type in 90, enter, it locks that in. So now I have made my rafter seat. I'm going to go back to the line command. I'll draw that to there. And now escape that. Hit the line command again. I'm going to grab that. So now I have made this rafter seat. Now, if any of that, if anything else had lit up, either I would have, I would know I had a problem. Either I could have made the, I might not be drawing the line on top of the board. That would be a problem. My guidelines might not be on top of the board. That would be a problem. But if I made that and then I clicked on this little rafter seat and that didn't light up, something else lit up, I got a problem. So, but now it's all good. I can hit the push-pull, and then I just did away with that. So now I've got the top, got the bottom, right? So now I've got I know I want a 12-inch overhang, and all that is where your gutters sit. Like, how big do I want that little soffit to be? So the easy way to do that, now that I have all these guidelines drawn, and then, you know, I would actually be drawing these same lines like this with a pencil. I can grab this here. I'm going to hit the move command. We'll start moving that. I'm going to hit control. I want to make sure I'm on the green axis. Maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, I want to be on the green axis. Okay. So now I want that to be 12 inches, is what I'm saying. So let's go 1, 2, shift inch, enter. Okay, now I have made the end of that. I'm going to go back to my line command because now I'm actually drawing the line of where I'm fixing to cut this thing. Alright. Click on the top, and once again, this is a big thing to remember, that I want to make sure the only thing that lights up is the top of that. Now I know that I'm doing this right, okay? So let's hit the push-pull. Grab the top of that, and it all disappeared. Now before I do anything else, this might be the most important part of the whole piece, because I'm working in SketchUp. I need to make this a group again. If I don't make this a group, well, it's not going to be good. So let's go 1, 2, 3, left click. I'm going to make this a group. So now I have actually got me a rafter, and it is correct. I'm going to get rid of these guidelines. It's easier for me just to clean this stuff up. So there's a bunch of ways. I can click the guideline. I can hit delete. That got rid of that. I could hit the E for eraser. I can move this across like that, which seems to be the best way to do it for me. And then now that I'm in the eraser, I just click and hold. There we go. So now I'm going to get out of that. Let's see what we got. So now I actually have a rafter that is 93 inches. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. So this video is actually going to be part of a series of foundational skills. So we're going to talk about skills, what it takes to actually use some tools, how to lay out a job site, how to frame a wall. This one was on how to cut a rafter. So there's a whole series coming of foundational skills. So if you liked it and you know it was interesting to you, and you might want to see more of that type of content, if you would follow me up there on YouTube. It's just Brett Creel, and I will have more videos coming out shortly. Thank you.